Now at 9, what was supposed to be a celebration quickly turned into terror. One dead and several injured in a shooting at a Kansas City parade.
And while tragedy unfolded in Missouri, families remembering a different one. Today, marking 6 years since the Parkland, Florida shooting that left 17 dead.
Plus, a shakeup on Capitol Hill today. For the first time in over 100 years, a cabinet member faces an impeachment trial.
And a campus town hall held today with President Mearns. Here are plans for improving Ball State University.
We've got a little bit of everything in your forecast for today. We've got rain, we've got wind, and we even have snow. NewsLink Indiana starts right now.
Local news about local people, live from Ball State Unified Media. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Today, shots range out during the Kansas City Chiefs victory parade. As of right now, police say they've taken 2 armed people into custody. Thank you for joining us at 9. I'm Mira Bloomer.
And I'm Alana Gaither. Lots to get to tonight. A hometown victory celebration for Super Bowl champions. The Kansas City Chiefs took a violent turn tonight as gunfire ranged out. The Kansas City Fire Department says at least 1 person was killed and multiple others injured in a shooting at the end of the Chiefs rally. Emily Schmidt joins us and gives us the latest.
There was joy in Kansas City. Blocks and blocks of loyal fans wearing their hearts on their red sleeves, cheering on their back-to-back Super Bowl champions. Police posted on social media, "You look incredible. We are honored to serve you on the ground and overhead." But at the end of the parade celebrating the Kansas City Chiefs, shots were fired west of Union Station. Police asked people near there to leave as quickly as possible while they treated the victims of the shooting.
We saw the police swarm a stairwell, and then we heard another pop from there. And that's when I was like, okay, we're gone.
When the shooting started, I, like many others, ran for safety. I saw a number of agencies, including the Kansas City Police Department, officers with guns drawn who were running towards danger. We thank them for that.
The governors of Missouri and Kansas were both at the rally when the shooting happened. Both are safe. A Missouri congressman says spending on security for the event had increased to $1 million this year. Whatever unfolded here, he says, is not good news for Kansas City.
It's very disheartening. We should be able to come together in situations like this and celebrate victories, not have to deal with a shooting.
Details about the victims are still unclear. The investigation into the shooting is underway. I'm Emily Schmidt reporting.
President Biden has been briefed on the situation. We'll keep you updated both on air and online at ballstatedaily.com.
Meanwhile, today marks the 6th year since the tragic mass shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida.
Democratic lawmakers held a press conference today about how the tragedy impacted the nation and laws.
And walking through the halls of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, everything is just as it was 6 years ago on Valentine's Day. It is a place frozen in time.
Gathering to remember those affected, the topic of discussion was about if lawmakers have implemented the correct laws to keep people safe. Nicholas Cruz, the gunman who carried out the Parkland massacre, is serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole. Student-led protests following the shooting resulted in multiple bipartisan gun regulations. Broward County Public Schools honored the 17 people who lost their lives on this day in 2018 with a moment of silence.
In new court documents, the parents of Brian Laundrie recalled an exchange of frantic phone calls when he told them his fiancée Gabby Petito was, quote, gone. The details are from depositions from a lawsuit brought by Petito's parents against Laundrie's parents for pain and emotional distress. They claim Christopher and Roberta Laundrie knew their son had killed Gabby and intentionally withheld that information. The Laundries say the calls took place on August 29, 2021. That's 3 weeks before Petito's strangled remains were found in Wyoming's Bridgerton National Forest in a separate lawsuit. A Florida judge has ruled in favor of Petito's family in a wrongful death suit against Brian Laundrie's estate, awarding $3 million to her mother.
For the first time in nearly 150 years, a cabinet member faces an impeachment trial. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas is poised to stand trial in the Senate. That's after the House impeached him by a single vote yesterday. Republicans accuse Mayorkas of violating immigration laws. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is signaling the impeachment trial will be brief. Democrats control that chamber and are likely to acquit Mayorkas. Many legal experts say the evidence doesn't reach the high bar for impeachment. The impeachment vote follows a similar one that failed last week. Scalise return from medical leave is how it passed this time by one vote.
The Student Government Alliance hosted a town hall featuring President Jeffrey Merns. NewsLink Indiana's Amelia Winter has more.
Earlier this afternoon, Ball State University Student Government Alliance held a town hall with President Jeffrey Merns to ask him specific questions from the student body. The questions range from university infrastructure, transportation, privacy, and safety concerns. A notable highlight from the town hall was campus safety.
Student safety and the safety of faculty, staff, and guests is a paramount priority for us. And so Roanne will recall very quickly, we asked her to form a safety task force.
After hearing the student body questions, the audience was given the opportunity to ask their own questions and voice their opinions about what should change on campus.
People complain that they feel like they're not getting enough information about these safety alerts. Would you be willing to have to talk about going back to an opt-out system for those kind of emergency texts?
In Muncie, Amelia Winter, NewsLink, Indiana.
During the town hall, students asked about accommodation for those with disabilities, more access to parking, and more. Students are invited to email any additional questions they have about campus to the Student Government Alliance.
Now, I love the weather today, but I'm getting a little scared towards the weekend. Who knows with Indiana?
I know, but I'm so thankful for Valentine's Day, this warm today. But let's toss it to weather for Jack.
You know, it was gorgeous today, seeing those blue skies throughout much of the day. However, a change is on the way. Taking a look at some current temperatures around Indiana, 32 degrees right at the freezing point for Muncie right now, 41 degrees, a little warmer down south in Indianapolis there. Now, something I kind of want to put in perspective is the last time we saw snow, it's been quite a while. Last time was actually January 20th. Now, it was only a trace we saw, but it looks like Friday we might be seeing snow. I'll tell you exactly when, coming up after the break.
It's been 3 weeks since the Muncie Inn closed. Residents are wondering what's next. Our Sophie Schick has more.
Almost 3 weeks ago, the Muncie Inn was deemed unsafe and its residents were told to leave. The unsafe conditions of the motel were detailed on an order posted to the office door. Those conditions read fire hazard, hazard to public health / meth, public nuisance, and dangerous due to violation. The Muncie Inn may have just been an overnight stay for some, but to others it was their livelihood and home. However, residents don't necessarily describe their living conditions as ideal.
There was roaches, there was bed bugs, there was mice.
Apart from uninvited critters, one resident said the motel also had issues with water and mold.
Should have been shut down years ago. We used to live there. Like I said, my son-in-law was deathly allergic to mold, and we literally had to have people drag the fridge out of my daughter's room because it was full of mold.
With residents now in need of shelter and food, local organizations have stepped up. The Muncie Folk Collective told NewsLink Indiana they have helped put together housing plans, raised money for future rent, collected food and clothes, and built relationships with the residents. While residents try settling into their new lives, they haven't given up hope about returning home to better conditions.
Hopefully they reopen it better and manage it better and provide everybody with what they need.
With a construction permit issued earlier this week, the owner of the Muncie Inn told NewsLink Indiana he anticipates it reopening within the next few weeks. In Muncie, Sophie Schick, NewsLink Indiana.
In just minutes, health officials have identified a rare plague in Oregon. What the CDC is saying.
And this isn't your tip.
Dear moms and dads, what you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas.
You know it's true.
Mom, we love you always.
Everything I do.
When When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Man, it's lonely. Like, going through life lonely.
There is the therapeutic aspect of music, just expressing how you feel. I'm going to talk to Howie about his feelings, make it into a song.
Health officials have identified a rare case of human bubonic plague in Oregon. The Deschutes County Health Office says the patient was probably infected by their cat. They were treated in the early stage of the disease and pose little risk to the community. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says about 7 cases are reported each year in the United States. If caught early, the plague is easily treated with antibiotics.
Surgeons on Earth have conducted robotic surgery in space. New robotic tech has allowed the surgical community to successfully conduct a simulated surgery on the ISS, with surgeons controlling the robots 250 miles below from Lincoln, Nebraska. This is the first ever surgical procedure test in space. Rubber bands were used to simulate soft tissue, and the surgeons had to contend with zero gravity and roughly half-second time delay, but they were able to successfully complete the robo-medical milestone.
A recent survey found that most employees think talking about mental health at work is okay, but some still don't feel safe talking about what troubles them. The National Alliance on Mental Illness polled 2,000 working adults in the U.S. 74% said it's okay to discuss mental health concerns at work, but only 58% said they would feel comfortable doing so. The most common reasons employees cited for feeling uncomfortable were stigma or judgment. 4 in 5 people say mental health training would be a positive for workplace culture, but only half said their employers offer it.
It's a holiday devoted to love, but this Valentine's Day, how about caring for yourself too? Mandy Gaither explains why self-love is good for your health.
From candy to stuffed animals and cards, love is in the air, so why not embrace it yourself?
Self-love is about treating yourself with kindness and care.
Licensed therapist Jody Baumstein says it's not selfish to practice self-love. Those who do it often can improve their well-being and relationships with others.
It's because when we're caring for ourselves in that way, we can show up differently. We can show up fully and authentically with other people.
Baumstein says to first identify what's stopping you from being kind to yourself.
We start to people please, prioritize everybody else over ourselves. We don't have very good boundaries because of it. We feel really disconnected from what we need.
To break through those self-love barriers, Baumstein says to recognize you're worthy of love and care.
We can embrace who we are today, not when I lose 5 pounds or when I get the promotion, but I am worthy and deserving of love as I am in this moment.
Ways to care for yourself will be different for everyone, but Baumstein says to start with healthy habits, set boundaries for things that don't allow you to prioritize good nutrition, quality sleep, and exercise. Self-love may mean connecting with others socially or simply taking time for yourself, doing things that make you feel good.
We just have to get out of our own way sometimes and realize that Showing up for ourselves doesn't have to be complicated.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Bobstein says it's important that children and loved ones see others practice self-love too, because they can serve as role models.
Yeah, so we're finally at the freezing mark, which means we can actually finally talk about snow. Friday, we have chances. I'll have the details after the break.
As a dad, every day is a challenge. To make sure that the time that I have, I spend with them. It doesn't matter how tired you are, you have to try to teach them. When they learn something new and you can just see in their faces, it's such an incredible moment. It's those moments that are my favorite.
Oh man, I can't believe I'm missing this. Okay, Grandma. I see you.
Don't get stuck at home with the flu. A flu shot is the best way to prevent the flu and its potentially serious complications. It keeps you, your community, and loved ones protected. Don't get flu FOMO. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Can't believe you're doing this alone.
I've done it before.
I remember you threw your back out. How you holding up?
Hand me that board.
Nothing wrong with getting help.
I'm good.
I did it when Felicia left.
I'll figure it out.
I know you will, but you don't have to do it alone. That's all I'm saying.
If I promise to look into it, will you drop it and help me build this fence?
Now you need my help.
It can be a real pain sometimes, you know that?
Mm-hmm.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Welcome back. I'm weather forecaster Jack Van Meter. Taking a step outside of the studio right now, we're greeted with 32 degrees and light winds just right out of the east. Now, the winds are actually going to be our major factor for the next about 12 hours. Right now, they're in the east. They're going to go south, and then they'll go north as well. So they'll be all over the place. Also, they'll start to pick up throughout the night. But first, let's look at some temperatures right now. 32 again here in Muncie, a little warmer. 33 degrees in Fort Wayne, and Indianapolis is sitting at 41 degrees. So if you have any late night Valentine's plans tonight, just bring that larger coat, maybe a hat and gloves as well. Radar, as of now at least, all clear for Muncie. Maybe a couple clouds moving in, and if we take a look at this bigger picture, actually, out in Iowa, we see this system starting to set up, and that's going to be our next weather maker for tomorrow morning. But for tonight, our forecast low will be 31 degrees, breezy with those clouds building throughout the night. Watch out for those isolated gusts of 20 miles an hour at times. Timing out tomorrow, we have a system moving through in the morning, that one I just showed you on radar. 40 degrees at 8 a.m. with that system slowly moving through. As we can see, we'll be warming up into the mid-40s tomorrow. Look at the gusts, though, 30, 25 miles an hour. Also, look, out of the south in the morning and then out of the north at night. And that northerly flow will actually cool us down quite a lot. So this is the rain that I was talking about tomorrow morning, Thursday, 9 a.m. We can see this line is just off to our west, and it'll be through in about 2 hours. It's not going to take too long. 10 a.m. it's right over Muncie, and then it moves out of here. Now we're looking at maybe some moderate to heavy downpours at times, nothing severe, just a little hiccup tomorrow morning. Now that snow that I've been teasing all show. So I'll start this here, Friday, 5 a.m. We do have another system off to our west. As I put this one in motion, we can see it coming through for much all of Friday morning and into Friday afternoon as well. Now this pink line down here is the freezing line, and wherever that sits is where that rain snow line is going to be. Now we are still far away and we are still getting data in, so we're not really sure yet. As for accumulation, I'm not going to say anything yet because I personally think the temperatures around are going to be a little too warm to actually hold on to that frozen snow. So we'll just hold off on that right now. Now onto your raw 7-day forecast. Again, Thursday 48 degrees. We just have the rain showers tomorrow morning. Then Friday we do have that chance of snow in the morning as well. So just kind of take it easy on your commute for Friday. Just make sure you kind of mark that one in your calendar that it could be a little hazardous going to work or school then. Gorgeous weekend ahead. Cold though. Gorgeous but cold. 28 degrees on Saturday. Warming up though, back into the 40s for Sunday. And then next week, look at that. We're back into the 50s again. So that's kind of nice, but it's a little strange for this time of year though, I must say.
I mean, Indiana throws us all kinds of things. I'm definitely not surprised.
That's right.
So yeah, lots more to get to on NewsLink Indiana. Andy Newman has a preview of sports.
Thanks, Mira. Delaware County High School basketball is nearing the final buzzer, and one Ball State program preps for a big matchup. All this and more next in sports.
It's something about having that piece of paper. Some people think that's worth more than my skills.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
You just gotta be so good they can't ignore you.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Analytics and empathy. That's how I've gained clients.
I am more.
I'm more
than who I am on paper.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
¿Qué color? Perfecto, mijo.
Gracias. Thank you.
What's wrong, mijo?
Donating to a pet's medical care is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
At night, NewsLink Indiana brings you the news before you go to bed.
But Friday mornings, you're waking up with Cardinal Weather, bringing you up to speed on the day's top stories.
And giving you up-to-the-minute conditions from the Ball State Weather Center.
And of course, lots of fun.
I gave mine personality. Look, it's got eyebrows.
Ooh.
My lucky glove didn't even work.
But I also am excited for those fall temperatures.
Start your Friday mornings with Cardinal Weather, live on the Cardinal Weather Facebook page.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Andy Newman with sports. The high school basketball regular season is near the finish line as teams prepare for the upcoming sectionals. NewsLink Indiana's Jace Miller caught last night's action between the Delta Boys Eagles and the Rushville Lions.
The sun is setting on another IHSAA boys basketball season with the postseason about to tip off. Last night, the Delta Eagles squared off against the Rushville Lions. Delta head coach Mark Detweiler believes that this type of competition is helpful for his squad.
Rushville is a team that likes to control the tempo, so we needed to press and kind of extend our defense and got the tempo where we wanted it. We did not want them to just kind of grind the game to a halt and make it more of a methodical game. We needed this one kind of as much as we possibly could to get up and down the floor.
After a dominant first half, the Eagles had a 21-point lead. Although they had a great lead, Detweiler still saw it as preparation for the upcoming postseason.
It's good to see that because you're going to see that in a tournament. You know, teams are going to try to have some long possessions. You know, especially if you're playing somebody that maybe you're the favorite or you got more talent. Teams want to try to take the air out of the ball a little bit.
Detweiler is just the conductor of this train, as star senior Damari Hood is one of the main fuels keeping this team on track.
He's active. He's got great length and. I thought, again, tonight he was aggressive early, got us going. And
in the end, the Eagles soared high over the Lions in a 50-27 victory. Delta is back in action Friday night against the Golden Bears of Shelbyville. In Muncie, Jace Miller, NewsLink Indiana.
To keep things on the court, the Muncie Central Bearcats traveling to face the Yorktown Tigers last night. Senior guard Jacob Grimm stands out for Yorktown with a team-high 17 points and 2 steals on the night. The Tigers take the W over Muncie Central with a final score of 43-30. This puts Yorktown at 12-8 on the season as they earned just their second win in their last 9 matchups. On the opposing bench, the Bearcats suffer a 3rd straight loss, falling to just 7-14 on the year. Both teams gear up to go on the road for their next matchup as Yorktown heads to Wapahani this Saturday And Muncie Central takes on conference foe McCutcheon on Friday. To drive over to the green, Ball State women's golf places third of 14 at the BGSU Intercollegiate. Junior Sophia Langiger led the Cardinals with a 220 and 3 rounds, 7 over par, to secure a third-place finish overall. And sophomore Jasmine Driscoll ties for 14th with a total of 228. The Cardinals will travel over to Rio Verde, Arizona next Friday to compete in the Rio Verde International. To send it over to the court, Ball State men's volleyball prepares to take on MIVA foe Purdue Fort Wayne tomorrow night in Worthen Arena. The Cardinals currently lead the Mastodons all-time with an 81-33 record in head-to-head matchups, following a 3-0 sweep last night. After the contest, the Cardinals will travel to Loyola Chicago to take on the Ramblers. And speaking of men's volleyball, obviously, men's volleyball is so huge here at Ball State. Have you been able to get out to a game? Honestly, probably one of the best atmospheres here that I've ever been to, really.
Yes,
and you got a chance Thursday.
Oh,
yeah.
For sure. And I definitely might. I love seeing the energy on the court. Up next, a mystery surrounding a stingray in North Carolina.
Plus, one final look at your weather.
Attacks against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders are on the rise.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer. In terms of the hate crimes, I think there is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A mother stingray at an aquarium in North Carolina is expecting to have a mysterious birth. The stingray Charlotte ended up pregnant when there was no male stingray ever in her tank. The aquarium staff believe that it was most likely a form of asexual reproduction. The aquarium plans to do a DNA test when the babies are born to find the true cause. Now, that is an absolute crazy story to me,
Yeah,
but
I agree.
definitely cool to hear. Let's take our final look at weather.
Yeah, taking a look at our 7-day one more time. We have tomorrow, we have rain in the morning and then breezy conditions through the rest of the day. Friday, we're going to be seeing a chance of snow. Funny enough, we haven't seen snow in the past 27 days, and it is February and in the winter, so we should be seeing that. So that is kind of nice to see in the forecast, not going to lie. Saturday, Sunday, going to be gorgeous blue sky days. However, Saturday, look at that, high of only 28 degrees. So be sure to bundle up on Saturday, and then we'll be great for the rest of the start of the next week.
That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana, and be sure to tune in to our sister show, Waking Up with Cardinal Weather, tomorrow morning at 8.
And for news anytime, anywhere, just go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night and stay safe.